The lack of knowledge we know about Rina is baffling. Being the head maid of one of the most important factions in the story of Zenless Zone Zero, nevertheless being a floating, pale-skinned woman with talking ghost dolls should give us more than enough want to see more of her. However, past that silly smile and whatever that thing is that she calls food, could there really be more than she lays on? Greetings, samurai from beyond the crypt. My name is Sekai Samurai, and today we are exploring the insanely odd and secretive world of Rina, one of my personal favorite characters ever released, yet somehow keeps a very low profile in lore. So Sekai, how do you really plan to scare us with this lore dive then? Simple! Let me introduce you, Rina's cooking. Like many of the mysterious and spooky characters of Victoria Housekeeping, Alexandrina Sebastine seems to be taking on some sort of horror-based creature, most likely being referenced as a phantom, or possibly even as a haunted doll. However, as much as our knowledge rings in, she isn't dead. Instead, she seems to be using some sort of electromagnetic technology or gadgets that are built around her clothing. In fact, in a cool note, under her floofy hair is actually a big metal plate that says electromagnetic generator, which explains why there seems to be a spark flying off of her when she starts to fly. However, could this generator and the swirling electricity be hinting that she is dead? Corin is a fantastic example on that theory, by the way, as she is built around the idea of being Frankenstein's monster and has numerous surgical scars that seems to stem from her being victim of a terrible accident, which makes it look like as if she was dead and then brought back to life. But I could be overreaching, so let's just take a jump back and talk about what we do know about this tall ghost woman. Alexandrina is the proper head maid of Victoria Housekeeping. Not only that, but she is also the senior and oldest member of the faction itself. She carries a heavy say on what we should and should not be allowed from those who work with her, and has even been described as being very obsessed with perfection when it comes to her work. Every member we have met, such as Ellen and even Von Lycon himself, has been deemed acceptable and approved of by Rina. Even if how adorable and silly she may be, she takes her job incredibly seriously and can come off as a little bit scary depending on who you're talking to. We learn while exploring with Ellen that she often has to go to high lengths to avoid getting in trouble with Rina, with her later tabbing in and texting the proxy mid-hangout to find where she is. However, she seemed to be very well aware of what the little shark girl was off doing, meaning that not only is Rina keeping tabs of her associates during work, but it also seems that she might be keeping a close eye on them even when they're not around. Not only this, but she is also the one who enforces the outfits and the uniforms given to the girls. No, not exactly explained. I actually hold a theory that the reason some of these girls seem a little nervous when it comes to doing a bad job with their maid commissions isn't over the fear of losing their job, but instead it's that they have to go home and tell an angry phantom that you made her prized housekeeping look bad. So why is she so strict? In the ending of chapter 5, Rina openly shows that she knows of Lucy's family, and surprisingly reveals to us all that she too also comes from a noble heritage. Though we aren't exactly sure who they are or what exactly brought them into nobility, however, from what is displayed by Rina, I don't actually think she holds that life very highly. She doesn't exactly like to talk openly about her past, and to be honest, it's with good reason. Much like how Lucy is, she too holds issues surrounding her father. When she was just a little girl, she worked religiously, and she never actually got to experience the life of being a child. She recalls in her story that her father was rather strict, and because of her family's power, they would hold incredibly high goals and demands that she would always constantly have to chase. Revealing also that her life was so busy that her only real time that she got to relax was when she was able to sneak off and enjoy time alone in front of the television. And that even today, she can still happily remember each of the commercials that she enjoyed. Though what is interesting about this little tidbit that was revealed is the fact that Rina inevitably did become a maid, something that no noble household would definitely deem worthy of their child. It paints an interesting image on what her family actually may think of her, but this can also answer why she seems to have some of these traits show into her personality today. It's not that Rina means to be hard, but rather that this is all she knows. This lifestyle she was raised around, and that to her, being proper and perfect is exactly the meaning of excellence. However, odd enough, Sebastine is not mentioned anywhere in the story of Zenless Zone Zero so far, which only makes me beg Hoyo to take time and give us a break on the endless amount of questions. I mean, seriously, I am dying for Rina lore. Moving topics slightly though, let's look over at these quote-unquote haunted dolls that she has flying around her. These two little goobers are Drusilla and Anastella, with the original two being Drusilla. Her original origins was that she was modeled and based off of Rina's favorite childhood doll. However, she has a big mouth and is incredibly blunt, while Anastella is the younger sister and is often picked on by her sister and showcases a shy personality. Interesting enough, it seems Rina's personality and thoughts seem to bleed through these two. Drusilla can sense her hidden feelings and is often very loud and full of sass, while Anastella tries to calm the other down and keep her quiet, which usually leads to them bickering with each other. This is a full-on representation of the inner struggles and thoughts of Rina, showcasing her inner need to be vocal and to have her point across, while the other side of her fights back and tries to keep herself proper and kind. Funny enough though, in an extra lore bite, Rina literally has to put these two on silent mode when she's in business meetings because her emotions get so wild that they end up wanting to tear each other apart, which, yeah, that sounds like a normal gathering of rich employers. While we don't exactly understand the inner workings of her world and the secrets of her royal family, or really even the strange mental relationship of her Bangboo, we do know this. Rina is a kind soul. She dedicates her time to making New Eridu into a better place, and seems to have spent a rather heavy amount of money into ensuring that she could do so. She is someone who struggles with the past demanding excellency and perfection, which bleeds into her life today. Oh, and absolutely makes the most mouth-watering food, which, just to make her feel loved, I am happily open to allow Nekomata to eat Rina's food without telling her anything that's inside. That's for taking Trigger away from me. Twice. Anyways, everyone, if you are as crazy as I am about ZZZ lore, make sure to become a samurai today and hit that subscribe button. Every week we got plenty of brand new lore dives just like this one. If you want even more, check out my official playlist and even our Discord with hundreds of active users. And I shall catch you all next week. Sekai out.